Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's BDF44 coming at you with another video. All right, so the Los Angeles Lakers, they lost to the New York Knicks, and normally I break down the basketball game. I think I'll make a separate video actually doing that. I kind of want to more so talk about just the fact that we lost, how we're losing, and now where we go from here. Because the basketball game itself, though it's very important, I think I'm more so zooming out right now, being that I didn't get a chance to see as much of the game as I'd like to, and the highlights haven't been released yet because the game just finalized. So I just want to come here and just kind of sound off about what I did see. Um, the Los Angeles Lakers are. It's not a very good basketball team right now, you guys. I mean, I know we're missing players in and out of the lineup, stuff like that. Got some key players that are still trying to work their way back into it. THT, we don't have Kendrick Nunn yet, so it's going to take some time for him to get back, and then from there get incorporated into his role. And once you see his role, you can add like a good 20 points to whatever score we have, because he's going to score the ball that much. I think I think we have to make some changes to this roster. Um, we have got to get ourselves a legitimate center. I like Dwight Howard. I like DeAndre Jordan, but the league is full of young bigs, and size has never been more important in this era than it is this year, with the emergence of so many different players, young players, um, with size said. So at this point, I don't know exactly what the Lakers can do. I'm thinking about players like Marvin Bagley. I heard that Jeremy Grant's name has been mentioned. Um, the Lakers need to start thinking about stuff like that. Now, obviously, our best trade piece right now is THT, Malik Monk. Those are the guys people are going to want. Um, that's the problem, because you don't want to give away young players. Certainly, don't want to give away THT. You've invested in him, even though he had a pretty poor night tonight. Overall, zooming out on him, you could see that he's going to be more so like his superstar numbers than like the numbers tonight when he fully develops and grows up. He's still only a kid, 20, probably 21 years old, something like that. So at this point, it's like you definitely want him to be a part of your future. But for the present, what you have going on right now is a short window for LeBron James and Anthony Davis, and you've brought in Russell Westbrook, and that trio just doesn't fit. So you gotta find a way to either make it fit, or you gotta find a way to get rid of Russell Westbrook, because you're obviously not gonna get rid of Braun or AD. So nor should you be thinking about getting rid of AD to make the fit better anyway. That's ridiculous. So obviously Russell Westbrook will be the player you would consider making a move for. And at this point, looking at his contract, it's just not really possible. So how do you make those three fit? Well, you have to improve the team around them, so that they're not so reliant upon fitting, so that you don't have to be reliant upon those three players making things work amongst themselves. We need some players who can create for themselves, who can help us defensively, who can take pressure off of those guys. Um, Carmelo Anthony has done some of that, and we've appreciated him. But we're not getting it from other players. It's not enough coming from other areas. So um, Malik Monk has been helpful as well. No question about it. Like I said, when we get our full spectrum of players back, we'll get a better understanding of what the vision of this team actually is. But in the meantime, what we have isn't enough, isn't keeping us afloat. That's the moral of the story. Although it's a very long season, we look up and you know we're already through November, and we're a 500 ball club with cause to be concerned, because the players that we have injured, some of them aren't even close to coming back. You look at Trevor Ariza, you don't know when he's coming. Look at Austin Reeves, he's been out for a while. Who knows how that's coming along? Uh, Braun's been in and out of the lineup for various reasons himself. It's just getting to a point where it's like, all right, what are we doing? It's okay to admit when something needs to either be tinkered with or just scrapped altogether. In my mind, we need to be considering one or the other, because at this point, what we have going on here just isn't working. It isn't working. Now, my idea of what a solution is to stop the bleeding. That's my motto here, which means, you know, get rid of Russell Westbrook and his contract, respectfully. You have to go ahead and get rid of that, and you have to fire Frank Vogel. I think everybody's more so on the Frank Vogel train. That's where we're at. I'm kind of ahead of the game in regards to wanting to get rid of Russell Westbrook, because I know for a fact, year 2, year 3, year 4, I don't want to have nothing to do with that contract. I'm not going to play with you guys about that. That contract is horrible. And we can see the fit doesn't work. Our hope is that LeBron James would stay, but even if he were to retire or move on, being left with Russell Westbrook's contract is a nightmare. It's just a nightmare. An aging Russell Westbrook is not going to get its championship opportunity. I'm sorry. By himself, it's not happening. So we would be wise to try to move on from it sooner than later, accept that it was a mistake. It's okay to say when something's a mistake. We made a mistake, you know what I mean? But we don't have to die on that mistake. We can undo it, and I think that's what the Lakers need to be considering. It's no disrespect to Russell Westbrook. We understand that he's struggling. We understand that he can snap out of those struggles and turn back into his triple-double self. But we also understand that is not necessarily a recipe for championship basketball, and that's all we about. Cut and dry. I think the Lakers brought him in believing that it would work out somehow, even though on paper it didn't make much sense. In the long run, we've supported it for a plethora of reasons. But at this stage of our season, we can clearly see that this is not it. This is not it. And I'm not saying that he's not going to play well somewhere. I'm not going to say that he can't be a part of a championship situation. But this combination of players with this cap situation is just not going to work. You can see that now. It's too much of a strain on the 3 players that we have there. And, I got to say, we haven't had a real healthy version of our trio yet. So to expect that they're going to be healthier as they continue to age, that's asking a lot. It's just asking a lot, man. As the field continues to grow, with younger players who are kind of just getting their feet wet, as they're going to continue to grow into their bodies and stuff like that, we're asking those players as they age to try to take on some of these challenges without proper teammates to help them do it. And that's just the bottom line. Now the good thing, the optimistic aspect of it is looking at the Golden State model to say, as the years progress with Russell Westbrook's contract, maybe the Lakers can do a better job of working in some homegrown talent, get some guys to be, able to be our Jordan Pooles, our Juan Toscano Andersons, et cetera, over time. You know what I mean? Maybe we can start to develop some guys, and then we'll have less of a dependence on those 3 players. But this year and next year, you just don't see a way for us to kind of expedite that process. It's just no way to really speed that up. So for me, it's like the Lakers, we got a little greedy, and I think we bought into the past and not necessarily looking at what the field was and what the future would look like in terms of how we would have to try to compete with what we put together. And it's just, I do question it, man. On this channel we've said that, I believe that LeBron wanted Russell Westbrook on this team as a means of making things harder for himself, so that he could prove that he could do something that maybe others said they couldn't. And when will Russell Westbrook get him an opportunity to win a championship in Los Angeles, his hometown? Like, it was a good gesture, and it also helps his legacy. So all of that is supported. I support all of that, but you just gotta have the right system in place, and Russell Westbrook just needs to play better, man. I mean, I do remember watching him in OKC make certain types of mistakes, I didn't watch a whole lot of the Washington team. I didn't watch a whole lot of the Houston team. So I've seen Russell Westbrook play quite a bit, but not nearly as much to say that I'm not necessarily surprised. Because I am. Some of these mistakes and some of the types of turnovers and types of passes that I've seen him make in these first 2 months has really, really, really taken my confidence level down quite a bit in him and what he's going to be able to do for us. Y'all know I'm pass first minded as a fan. Um, my mind works from a passer's perspective. So when I see some of those passes down there, when I see him try to force certain things and I see certain decisions made, it's like a pet peeve for me personally. As a fan, just watching the game and how I like to watch the game being played. So, I mean, even if I put that aside in my own little frustration, we really do struggle quite a bit when he struggles, and it's you live and die with the guy, and it's why that's why it's so important that he make good decisions, and if he's incapable of doing that, then we have a really serious problem on our hands that's going to be lasting for many, many seasons. It's not just about the seasons that we have with him. It's about how we recover from the decision of keeping that contract. Just to be cut and dry with you guys, it's going to be difficult to build, around and with the fact that this team wants to continue to have max contracts on it. I'm imagining we're going to continue to try to bring superstar players to him. If that's the case, even if Bron and AD are gone, we're still going to be working from a limited perspective as it pertains to, putting role players together and things of that nature. So I just feel like the lesson here is, yes, can you put together 3 max contracts? Sure. Is it best for you to do so? I'm starting to think it's not. Because if one player goes down, then the other player struggles. Now you have a lottery team, and you're paying all this luxury tax. You're paying all this. It's like you just don't have enough weapons coming from different directions. So I want the Lakers to shave it back down to 2. I don't care what we get back for Russell Westbrook. It's addition by subtraction at this point. We're stopping the bleeding. We're hoping to bring back a competent point guard who can just run the offense and make good, sound decisions. And then we need to fire this coach. Get him out of here. Bring in a guy who's going to give us a opportunity to see a bunch of different offensive looks. A guy who's going to be able to put AD and LeBron James in positions to look good out there. More opportunities for AD to play on the inside. Enough of this perimeter play for him. Enough of that. He's not even perimeter minded. He can hit a 3-point shot. He can occasionally get hot. He can be clutching down the stretch with great ability, but he's not a shooter. And his perimeter play is good, but he doesn't move fast enough to be catching the ball too far away from the basket. He needs to be closer, or he needs to work his conditioning up to be faster. That's what it really comes down to. He moves too slow. And I don't know if anybody else is saying that, but I'm going to say it. He needs to strengthen his lower body, and he needs to lose some weight, preferably about maybe 10, 12 pounds, so he can just get a little faster out there. When he starts getting a little more nimble, that would allow him to play the perimeter better. And I just think that's what it is. He needs to reinvent his body. That's what I want to see Anthony Davis do. Reinvent your body, bro. Honest to God. You know what I mean? That's what it needs to happen now. He needs to just turn his whole thing around. Because really, his conditioning it may be to a point cool, but now that he's starting to get older, it's just more important that he just take care of his body in a different type of way. So that's what I want to see him do in a Laker uniform. Hopefully we can help him with that. And, I'm not going to sit up here and say this season is completely out the window, but I don't really know how you fix this. I don't know how you get a good trade for Russell Westbrook. I don't know that this team has got the guts at this point to trade him, because it's going to require a lot, to try to sell that to the fan base, I guess, for most of a lot of people who are not going to be up for trading a hometown guy like that. But I think most of the fans, if they see it like me, who understand it from my perspective, just see this as a long-term issue. as that contract continues to mature, it's going to be harder and harder to build around those three players. So, no, this isn't working. It's a mistake, and we need to undo it. Undo it. Period. And our coach, some of what's going on down there is the players. Honestly, they're just older. Um, and they ran out of gas. I saw some of that tonight, so I'm hopeful that we can get some more youthful energy out there with our guys coming back, our young guys. And again, we've picked up some guys. And I've mentioned this. We've had some guys in this locker room that I think could help us in the regular season, and we just kind of let walk out the door. I think a guy. I mean, I'm not saying these guys are great players, but I just think that right now we're running a lot of older guys who just don't have fresh enough legs to keep up with the competition. So I want to see us play guys like the J Huffs. I want to see us call up these guys. We let K-Cock walk out the door. I thought that was a mistake. Figured he would be the type of player who could help us in a game like tonight. I remember the fact that we had Costas Antetokounmpo on this roster last year. That's a player who I would have liked to see him get some minutes on a night like tonight. He's not even on the roster. Like, these are the type of things the Lakers didn't do. They forego opportunities to develop these lesser role player kind of guys, so that they can bring in these old nostalgic names who are, just not helping us that much right now. Let's just be real. We love the fact that we got a bunch of old Lakers here, but if they can't be, spry enough to keep up with the competition, then we're just going to continue to get blown out. And that's not necessarily what we saw tonight, but the Lakers did not win the game. So there were times where they didn't have a whole lot of offense going for themselves. They were to pick it up here and there, but that's just the consistency that's lacking from our team right now. Our offense is stagnant. Players are older. Guys in and out of the lineup. And that's what you're going to have here. So a lot of people may expect the Lakers to get better. I do think that we can improve, but the record that we have, I don't think our schedule's going to get much easier. We've had so many home games to start the season that you see us having more road trips like the one we're on further down the road. So a whole lot is riding on guys to come back and get healthy. That's what it really comes down to. And continue to pick up where they've left off in various points of their career when they played really, really well. The Kendrick Nunns, the Austin Reeves early in the season, of course, and I think about continued help from players that maybe are not helping us right now. Like, maybe we can get something from Rondo as we go forward. Maybe we can get something out of Bazemore. He's got, he's been in a slump. Maybe we can pick it up and start hitting his jump shot again. These are the type of things that the Lakers are trying to bank on because they can't make trades. You can't make trades. You're just hoping guys will snap out of slumps or be rejuvenated somehow. So I don't like the odds on that. I hate the odds on that. I'm more of an upside person. Give me guys that I think, yeah, they're struggling, but at any moment they could pop and do something great. Like Emmanuel Quickly, for example, who went off on us tonight. So you don't see much of that on our team. We don't have that kind of upside in some of our areas where we could, but decided we wanted to go old instead. So yeah, man, we gotta do a Cleveland-like overhaul here. That's what needs to happen. Everybody remember when LeBron James had Derrick Rose and all these different guys on the teams? They ended up trading for Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance, and they went to the final. That's what we need to do. We need to do that. Trade our old guys for some okay guys and just drag ourselves as far as we can go. Because right now, our bench sucks so bad and our defense sucks so bad that we're not going to make the playoffs. I cannot stress this enough. We're not making the playoffs. We're going to get ousted. We'll be close. We'll be in that 9th spot. We might make the play-in tournament like last year. But it's going to be one of them situations where I don't think we're going to be that great. Because really, cut and dry, we're not an improved team from last year. We're worse. We're a lot worse. Defensively and in terms of our depth, we're worse. So, and that's with our full spectrum of players. Why is that? Because we turned Kyle Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell, and KCP into Russell Westbrook. That's why that is, ladies and gentlemen. My name is BDF44. Thank y'all for watching. I'm out.